Started. Hello, everybody. Hey now. That was nice. That's nice. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Green Space at WNYC WQXR. Who's here for the first time? Welcome. We are so thrilled to have you here. We are very excited about tonight. Tonight, Black Girl, You've Been Gentrified. I have so much to tell you, but first I have a special guest, and then I'll tell you more about why I'm so excited, okay? So our special guest, to say hello before I go into it, is our new president. He is all of 3-4 weeks in, so he's super new. He's amazing, we're excited. He is a veteran public radio leader and broadcaster who led WYPR in Baltimore and Community Communications, Inc. You hear how I tried to put on a little radio voice there? He led WYPR in Baltimore and Community Communications, Inc. Prior to joining us and earlier in his career, he ran WEAA, an NPR affiliate owned by Morgan State University. But he's dope, and we're happy. He's here. Please welcome LaFontaine Oliver.
Thank you, Christina, and thank you all for the warm welcome. I'm LaFontaine Oliver, and I have the absolute pleasure of serving this community as the new president and CEO of New York Public Radio, and I am super excited to be here. So first of all, you all look beautiful, so give yourselves a round of applause. You know, WNYC has a rich history of facts and news and information, but one of the things we say in the business sometimes is that facts and figures are forgettable, but stories and storytelling, that they really stick to you. And so that's one of the reasons I'm excited about tonight's event, to hear the conversations and the stories around this very interesting and sometimes controversial topic of gentrification. As a newcomer to New York City, I thought about today's topic, and it's really interesting moving here. I married a beautiful, wonderful woman who's grew up in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. And so we have relocated to Brooklyn. And when I think about the concept of gentrification, which can have a lot of different meanings for folks, I actually think of it as when the secret gets out, when the cat is out of the bag, when the masses realize just how dope your community is. Something that you've known all along, but folks start to realize how dope your community is. And in my case, with Brooklyn, it's the easy commute, the tree-lined blocks, the beautiful brownstones, the history, the art, the culture, all of those things that just make that community really dope. And so I think about that a lot. And I think about my wife who would say with pride, and maybe it means something a little different now than it did when she was growing up there, but when she says, Bed-Stuy, do or die, there's just a pride in her. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for welcoming me, and I'm looking forward to tonight's program. Thank you all.
You see why we're excited about LaFontaine? Okay, it's clear. It is so clear. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of background, but I know we gotta get into it. This program is possible because one of our amazing board members, Josh Sapin, introduced me to Nichole Thompson-Adams and Epoch Films. Thank you, Josh, for supporting New York Public Radio and the Green Space. This would not have happened without you. And of course, when I met them and Zhailon, I was like, wait, stop. How many things do you want to do? And then Nichole told me she's Jamaican. I was like, hold on there. I say you come from Jamaica too? So that was a whole other thing. So my name, because I did not tell you, is Christina Newman-Scott, and I am the proud executive director of the Green Space. That is why I'm up here. I'm gonna tell you about two things coming up, and then I'm gonna introduce Nichole. So coming up on February 23rd, we have Terrence McKnight, who, those of you who listen to WQXR will know Terrence. He's launching a new podcast, which is spotlighting Black heroic figures found in modern American operas. I want to learn. Okay. Then on March 8th, we're going to have another Wanderlust Wednesdays, which this is part of. Wanderlust Wednesdays is a program that we created to invite thought leaders across the worlds of art, journalism, and media, as well as civic action and social justice, to come here and talk about topics that are commonplace, but they're taking a different point of view. And that's an example. You'll see that tonight with Black Girl You've Been Gentrified. And then this Friday, if you don't have nothing to do, come here, 12 o'clock. For All of It Live with Allison Stewart, Yola Tango, Ghetto Gastro, and more. And that's 12 to 2 right here. Don't bring your lunch, eat first, come here, because it's live. So don't be crunching potato chips up in this place. Okay. About Nichole Thompson-Adams. My new favorite person. Nichole is an actress, a writer, and she originally developed Black Girl You've Been Gentrified. What you gonna have on my glasses? She developed Black Girl You've Been Gentrified over 10 years ago at Cherry Lane Theatre. The show premiered at Joe's Pub in 2012 to rave reviews and sold out shows. Like tonight, sold out. I can't fit one more person. And she is currently in development with Epoch Films on a narrative podcast based on the play. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to bring to the stage Nichole Thompson-Adams.
Look, all the faces in the room. I got the HU posse. I got my mommy posse. I got my other mommy posse. And I got my neighborhood folks. This is so amazing. It is awesome to be here. It is awesome to introduce you to this iteration of Black Girl You've Been Gentrified, because as we know, I've been working on it a long time. It's my baby, along with the other two that I have. But, you know, as life changes, you change, and we went from the Obama eras where everybody thought it was a post-racial society. I didn't. But other people thought it was a post-racial society, to where we're at right now. And gentrification is not just a neighborhood, it can happen to a life. And this is basically a peek into a life that got gentrified along with her neighborhood. And the complicity, or is she complicit, or did it just happen? But that's for you to answer. So thanks so much for coming. I'm so excited for you guys to see this part. It's a podcast, so you guys are basically watching a live radio show. So don't expect no, bells and whistles. We're gonna be here reading from the script. And thanks, and I can't wait for you to see the rest. Here's our wonderful director, and just let me introduce him properly. His name is Zhailon Levingston. One of the youngest black directors, or the youngest black director on Broadway. He directed Chicken and Biscuits. He was also the associate director for I-Tina. Am I saying it right? Did I say the wrong thing? Anyway, he's a genius. He's young, and I've learned to speak him and my daughter's language. So come on up, Zhailon. Thank you so much.
Great. How's everybody feeling? Good? Good to see you. Wow, so beautiful. So beautiful. Just want to take y'all all in for a moment before these actors get on stage. So yeah, I'm Zhailon Levingston. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what the past couple days have been about. So I got a call from Nichole and the gang to come aboard this project and help kind of shepherd them to what you're about to witness tonight. We recorded a podcast that I know y'all have seen some QR codes about. That's a different experience, right? So we're going to perform that podcast kind of in theater mode tonight. We rehearsed with the actors a few hours yesterday and an hour or so today. So they are so excited to have an audience that is basically a love machine, sending energy their way. So please do that. Lean forward. If you need to laugh, laugh. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to talk back, talk back. This is our neighborhood for the evening. Thank you so much for being here. And one of the things that we want you to have in your mind as you watch this is we would like to take episodes of this show as they develop into community. So if you feel like you have something that we need to know about that can help us reach that goal, be it financial, be it community support, be it your own gifts and talents, be it just a list of contacts, let us know, let Nichole know, and let's have this conversation all across New York City. Yeah? Yeah! Amazing. Without further ado, Black Girl, You've Been Gentrified.
An equal system in this I don't disagree, but it's not a meeting.
PTA meetings. I love them. You see, I love a stage, and it's my time to shine. Only this time, I went supernova. You see, the cafeteria was packed. And when I say packed, I mean to the rafters. And there were a lot of faces that rarely show up. Pretty much everyone was white except me and the other black mommies.
Y'all are missing the point, okay? Homeroom is a time for our children to regroup each day and process. Okay? This is not segregation. I think we know about segregation.
Well, I don't see why we don't just sprinkle them around so everyone is happy.
My child is not seasoning.
Ladies and gentlemen, please. Now, I will not commodify our young people of color.
Come on. But yet here we are discussing it, okay?
Wait. Hold up! Hold up here! What do you know about someone's life changing all of a sudden? Poof, your life is different. Nothing. Your normal goes up in smoke like a nuclear fucking bomb. No fucking way. So let me tell you how I ended up in a room full of white people, unable to stop myself from cussing them the fuck out. Sunrise, 1963. Sunset, 2013. Michael Adams, beloved family man, respected businessman, a good black man gone too soon. So we held my husband's funeral at our church. Now, half of the folks in the sanctuary ain't never been to a church like mine. You see, my church is one of the largest black churches in New York City. So some people call it like a mega church. Okay, it's 96,000 square feet, right? And 40,000 mostly black parishioners. And, you know, the building gives you small college campus, maybe hotel, maybe casino. But, you know, our church sits on the last piece of ungentrified land in Brooklyn. So service at my church is like a gospel concert, you know, like a gospel concert. And I made sure I sent my husband off right.
Is it me or does everyone here sound as good as Beyonce?
Don't look like you're enjoying everything so much.
I'm
It's a freaking funeral, idiot, okay? Stop looking so goddamn white.
How can I help myself?
We're sorry for your loss.
Everyone was waiting because I was late. Well, no, really not late, more like they can't find me. Because some smart person decided to let people up to speak.
Hey, everyone. I said, hey, everyone.
Hey.
My name's Ralph. Mike came to my store every morning. He'd buy a Lucy and a coffee. Black, no sugar, no cream. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. That's the kind of girl I need to find. See? Black coffee, no.
Oh, I don't know that song.
He was a good man. Thank you all.
So was he sick before?
No, apparently no one saw it coming. Is it me? Or are there a lot of white folks at this funeral?
Girl, I was thinking the same thing. When we was at Howard, who would known that her world was so white?
I know, right?
Who's he?
I don't know, but he's kind of cute.
Hi, I'm Scott. Michael and I served on all the dad committees together. Our boys knew each other since the 3rd grade. He was just so committed to his children and to the entire school community. He will be truly missed.
Well, that explains the whites. They're from that Manhattan private school they send them kids to.
Okay. Well, who are all those Asian people over there?
Oh, that's Michael's family. He's half Filipino.
What? Yeah, I thought he was just light-skinned with pretty hair. Now, can she keep sending those kids to that bougie communist school on an acting salary alone?
Well, now this is Nichole. So we're talking about her. If anyone's got it together, it's Nichole.
You're right.
Meanwhile,
Where is she?
I was holed up in the closet of the bereavement room, stuffing red velvet cake down my mouth. Enter Grandma Iris, a.k.a. the General. Born in Jamaica, immigrated to the United States at 30 with 7 kids that she raised all alone.
Come out to the closet, Thompson.
No, me can't do it, Gran. Me can't come out.
Come out. Come here, child. Nothing happens before its time. God never puts more on you than you can bear. And you know, joy comes in the morning.
Gran, I don't think joy coming in the morning anytime soon.
You are not your mother. You know how to play while injured. Put on your big girl drawers, stand up on your foot, and go on out there. People are here to pay their respects.
Okay. Waiting for me in the hall are my hearts. My daughter Sky, 16, quintessential teenager, beautiful, deadly smart, artfully manipulative, but loving. She is totally devastated by the death of her father. And my son, Dante, he's 19, good-looking, smart, dreadlocked. Imagine Chance the Rapper meets Tyler the Creator. Heavy on the style, not so heavy on the street smarts. He's just trying to stay steady, with his new unwanted role as man of the family.
How does this dress look?
Yo, we were supposed to start an hour ago.
Do you think it should be tucked in? Or maybe tucked out? Tucked in? Tucked in.
Why are you even doing all that? It's not about to make the dress look any better.
Dude, I look like a sister wife.
Keep your voice down. Mom picked it out for you.
The only thing that me and this dress have in common is that we're both black.
I think Mom bought it at Target.
Yeah, no shit. It's horrible.
I mean, what is that thing? But look, honestly, don't make it a thing, okay? Mom's going through a lot right now, and be cool if you just wear it, okay?
All right, I got it.
Thank you.
Grandma Iris is marching us as fast as her little Dr. Scholes can take us. From the south side of the sanctuary to the north side, where everyone is still waiting.
Come. Walk fast.
Yeah.
God, I think I have to use the washroom. Keep walking. I'll catch up. Oh, go on.
Mom, who is that coming down the hall, and what animal did she have killed to put around her neck?
Oh, God. Oh, don't make eye contact.
God.
Look at it.
Jesus
It's got teeth. Thompson. Thompson.
Enter Monique Foster. Self-proclaimed immigrant success story. You see, she's Jamaican, but just not a regular Jamaican.
My mother is Indian. My father, black.
So that makes her better than the rest of us regular Jamaicans. Monique owns her own fully automated construction company. and doesn't mind sharing her colonial, detestable mindset.
Michael was always such a classy guy. Sharp dresser. You, not so much.
Sky, Dante, this is Mrs. Forrester.
No one called me. But of course I had to come.
Of course.
Who knew it would be in the back ass of Brooklyn? Oh,
Miss
beautiful children.
Miss Forrester is the lady that bought the brownstone we used to live in when
Oh,
you
so
were
you're the
little.
lady that made us move.
Oh, no. I helped your parents.
Helped? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no, of course, children. I mean, I can't believe the previous owners had your parents living like that.
Like what? Wait. It was a great apartment even before you bought the building.
No. It was a dump. But you would not know any better. I helped you. I did you a favor. None of that matters now. Now it looks like the sign is going to sell for a fortune.
We're very happy for you. Yeah.
My dear, after 10 long years, I'm ready to sell. Move on. Thompson, I know you do real estate. Too bad you don't have the kind of clientele to sell a property like mine.
I think the service is about to start.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, the sanctuary's that way.
Yeah. Yep.
That way.
Bye.
Yep.
I told you to keep moving. Why you don't listen to me?
Goodbye. Michael's sweet babies.
Who's that?
My evil ex-landlord. It's okay.
All right, children. Heads up, shoulders back, and let's send your father home with dignity.
So Fort Greene, Clinton Hill, my neighborhood for the past 20 years. You know, I moved there back in the 90s. Me and my husband thought it was Black Bohemia. Anybody remember Brooklyn Moon? Where people would read their poems and you would snap your fingers instead of applauding? You know, Spike Lee lived there. Mind you, the crack files did litter the snow like sprinkles on ice cream. But the apartments were big and we made them really cool. You know, and all of that's dead now. See, the brownstones are restored to their Italianate beauty, you know, with stunning chandeliers, because nobody got curtains. And the trees are all pruned with the same exact flowers, you know, and little fixie bikes chained to every wrought iron fence. Fort Greene, Clinton Hill has become gentrified Brooklyn. Standing on my doorstep of my brownstone is my tribe. My girls, my sisters.
Thompson!
Thompson!
Open the door!
Come on!
Open the door.
Thompson, come on. We are having an all-out intervention, okay? Look, yesterday I spoke to Dante, and he said, Mom, make sure to get us up and about. But when I call, you're always in bed. Thompson!
We know you're in there, Thompson!
That's May. She's a Southern woman. North Carolinian, to be exact. She has a 30-year career with the IRS. No nonsense, spitfire disguised in a matronly shell. We call her, a.k.a. the mastermind.
No, May, not an intervention. She just needs us.
This is Kimora. She's from Trinidad and Tobago.
Sky says they have been eating leftovers since the repast, and whatever the neighbors have been bringing over.
She's Chinese and black. She's an associate dean at NYU, and always a diplomat.
Thompson!
So we call her the Rainmaker.
Thompson.
What we need is a plan.
Yes. Now
We need a
this is
plan.
Cindy.
Okay.
Has she told either of you how she plans to support herself and these kids?
Culturally Jewish, but non-observant. Liberalism in her DNA. Predecessor of today's girl boss. We call her the progressive.
Thompson!
Thompson!
Come on, open the door!
Thompson,
I can
open
see
the
you in there!
Oh, hey! What are you guys doing here in the middle of the day?
Oh, we came to check on you, and thank goodness.
Tell me he had a will and some life insurance?
Okay, come on in. Come in. I know I look a mess.
Oh, you look like you're going to fall over. Come. Sit down.
What am I gonna do, y'all? They said the life insurance is in question. I got a letter last week that they won't pay out. They claim Michael let the insurance lapse, and I know they're wrong. I know they're wrong.
What the hell? Why didn't you tell us?
That's the fucking man. Insurance companies are the devil. You have to fight it.
Of course I'm gonna fight it. I have no choice. But in the meantime...
In the meantime, what? What's the plan?
Okay, well, I have some auditions lined up. And I had a buyer, but that deal fell through last week. I got one damn commission check coming in next week, and
For nothing.
that's it.
That's not gonna do.
Babe, that's not much of a plan.
I know, I'm so fucking scared. I keep shitting. Oh my God, I just...
Smells like shit.
Stop!
Stop it. We need a plan, okay? Closed mouths don't get fed.
Okay, wait. Y'all remember my old landlady, Monique Forrester?
No.
She showed up at the funeral, could not help but tell me how she's selling the brownstone we used to live in.
Her old gentrifying ass.
That burns me up. I cannot stand a fucking capitalist.
But Cindy, you are fucking capitalist.
All right. How much would the brownstone go for?
I don't
Because
know.
I know a guy.
Well, maybe after all these years, about 5 million, maybe 6, if it's all that she says it is.
All right. I know this guy, and he told me that he made all his money inventing the algorithm for the Twitter. And he wants to buy in Brooklyn.
Wait, what?
That's the plan!
No,
You're
now
gonna
wait.
sell that brownstone!
No. I hate that bitch. And what's an algorithm?
It's a fucking algorithm. You know, it's the thing, the algorithm that makes the Twitter the Twitter. And what's the difference? That's not the point. The point is, he's loaded.
Look, I am not trying to sell my hood out to some Twitter boy. Some Twitter asshole.
He's not an asshole. He's smart and he's progressive.
Who cares, okay? Right. All money is green.
Oh, true. God. You know what? I don't know. I don't know.
Babe, it's time for you to get some rest.
Yeah.
It's okay. I got this. I'm gonna set this up.
You know what? Wait. Isn't the stupid PTA meeting tomorrow?
Ain't nobody thinking about that, okay? And it's in 2 weeks.
No one's expecting you at school anytime soon.
No.
Not important.
You know what? I don't care if they don't expect me. I gotta be there because I gotta protect my kids normal.
Sweetie, chill out, okay? Ain't nobody think about that. Don't worry about the stupid meeting, okay? What we need you to do is get some sleep, please, and one of us will be here when you wake up.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, guys.
So my kids think I'm totally out of it. They think I don't know what's going on, but I got my finger on the pulse. You see, I know Sky hangs out at Father Demo Park after school, and it's harmless. Her and her friends are really good kids.
I got some fire-ass weed.
Yeah. So, there's Lennon. He's middle class, Jamaican mother, white father. He's a wholesome young man. And then there's Sophie. Her parents are uber wealthy, recently transferred some from Upper East Side's private school. This is a safe space for Sky.
Dude, all your shit is so mid, but I do appreciate you.
My parents mentioned some big PTA meeting tomorrow.
Oh my God, they're gonna try to make us go vegan again.
Yeah, all right.
Some parents think it's like weird that one homeroom is all white.
Oh. Are you looking at me? Because I feel like I'm black, so I've always been in the black class, and I just feel like it would be kind of weird if they changed it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, like that's what I mean though. Like, when you saying the black class, why are you good with that? My mom thinks it's segregation. Well, like, so what if they sprinkled you around, you know? Like for fairness, so everyone got to have the same experience.
I feel that.
Right?
Wait, I want to understand what you're saying. So you and your parents, right, they want the administration of our school to sprinkle the black children around so that you and my other white classmates can have a more diverse experience. Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked. Okay. Do I look like a sprinkle to you? Does it look like we live in a fucking ice cream sundae, Sophie?
No, obviously not. I wasn't saying that. You don't need to be so defensive. I'm literally just trying to talk about like unity and how we need more of it. Like, we're all friends here. No need to jump down my throat. Anyway, I'm gonna go get us some 40s. Yeah?
Yo, you ain't have to go ham on her like that. I thought y'all were cool.
Whoa. It seems like you're just kind of having like, I guess I'd call it like a mixed moment right now. So, if you like her that much, you should really follow her and go sprinkle yourself around her. But I'm gonna go.
Sky. Just hit the spliff again, come on.
Sometimes the loss would just overwhelm me. Hey, May, what's up?
Why does it sound like you're crying?
Because I was. This shit is surreal. I just got a notice from NYU. Dante's second tuition installment is due. I finally got an audition yesterday and I couldn't even go. I had to show apartments. Like right now, I'm up early because these motherfucking people need to see it right now. They can't see it any other time. Then I have to go back to the house, grab Sky, and head to the PTA meeting.
Honk, honk!
What the hell? May, you never gonna believe this. There's some white hipsters beeping me to hurry up.
Flipping the bird.
That's funny, May, because I can see the girl in my rearview window. She got on a big yellow coat looking like Big Bird.
Honk!
Oh, shit. She's shooing me forward.
Oh, so bold recently.
Oh, hell nah. Y'all trying to pass?
Oh, what the what?
Oh, you better not. You better not let me back up on y'all asses. You sons of bitches. You better get the hell out of here. No, you can't go ahead of me. Ooh, watch this.
What you doing? Slow driving on?
Yep. Slow driving. I'm going like 2 miles an hour.
You'll have your asses running back to the city or wherever they came from.
I can't stand them.
You feeling a little better now?
Yes. Nothing like a little racial retribution to help my mood. Oh, hold on, May. I think I got a text. Siri, read the text.
Hey, Thompson, it's Jennifer. You're 8 a.m. We ran into some traffic.
Oh. Okay, great. They running late, May.
Okay. Now you got a minute to get your face together.
You know me so well, girl. Ooh, and I just found a spot right in front of the house. I'll see you later. I'll see you at the meeting, okay?
Bye, girl.
Okay. Hi, Thompson. We'll be right there. We just parked. We're walking to the house. Fantastic.
Hey, Thompson!
Oh, shit. It is Big Bird from the car. Oh, I hope they don't recognize me. Oh, hi. How are you? Yeah. Oh, look. This is the house. You can go right in. Yeah. Yeah. So, after that, they didn't recognize me. And after that, I raced back to pick up Sky so I could drop her off at school and attend that stupid PTA meeting. Man, I used to wake up so charged up for these PTA meetings. But today I just feel lost. I truly miss my husband. We were the dynamic duo. He was so good at navigating these white spaces and people. And these freaking streets!
Why are you driving so fast?
I need to be on time for that PTA meeting.
You know, no one expects you to show up. They don't even expect me to show up to school.
Listen, you dumb mofo!
Mom, no.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, everything is just really weird at school since Dad died. Since the school made the official death robocall.
Good morning, community. I wanted to reach out with some sad news. We had a member of our community pass away suddenly. Michael Adams, father of two of our lifers, Sky and Dante Adams. Additional counseling will be made available to all. Please join me in holding space for Dante and Sky. Thank you.
People won't really talk to me. And it's kind of like death is contagious, I guess. And then there's this new girl, Sophie. I think Josh went to summer camp with her or something. She's always trying to hang out with me. She's always up with my business.
Oh, I'm so glad you're making friends.
Yeah, that is not what I said at all. Okay, so last week she shows me a video on her phone of some random black girl, quote unquote, her homegirl, getting these acrylic nails done, saying she wants to get them, and then proceeds to be like, Sky, where should I get mine done? I don't want to look basic.
You don't wear acrylics.
I know. I'm like, girl, just because I'm black does not mean I'm an acrylic nail expert.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Where'd you learn to drive?
You have to chill. He's like 100.
Well, 100-year-olds should not be driving. And anyway, I'm concerned about these new white parents. You know, they're concerned about the clustering policy, so that means the whites have been talking to each other, and you know that's dangerous at any time. You know, your dad and I worked really hard with the other parents to come up with ways to make you and the other black kids feel safe. In this school, we wanted to shore you up during those hard conversations. We didn't want y'all to be the only ones in the class everybody turned to and asked to answer, you know, when it was about black people. So we asked for them to cluster you all together. And if you all feel safer together, then that should be your choice.
Well, I think safe is like relative. I'm not sure I'll ever really feel safe again, but...
What do you mean? At the school or the new girl?
No, I mean, just in life, I guess I was just being such a jerk to Dad before he died.
Oh, baby. All 16-year-olds are jerks.
Yeah, but I mean, they get a chance to apologize, so...
I know, and I'm sorry. And you know what? You ignore that dumb white girl like I'm about to ignore these dumb white people.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. No,
okay,
yeah.
good. So the cafeteria was packed. And when I say packed, I mean to the rafters. There were a lot of faces that rarely show up. And the only people there that was black was me, Kimora, all my friends, and, well, Cindy, not really black, but, I mean, she was cool.
Testing. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. So I know we're all anxious to get to the meat of this meeting. Clarification on the clustering policy. Okay. Let's hand it over to our head of school, Andrew.
Yes. Good morning, all. There seems to be some confusion around the clustering policy. At the high school level, the homerooms are set up this way to give our young people of color a feeling of comfort and safety.
Yes, our daughter, Sophie, is very upset at being in the white class.
I know that we're new to the community, but it looks very much to us like segregation.
Yes, it does.
It really looks. We worked hard on this policy, and we're all very comfortable with it.
So I'm not new to the community, and I personally have never been comfortable with it.
Wait a minute. Who's comfort are we concerned about here?
Everyone's.
Look,
Everyone's.
no. Homeroom is a safe place for our children to regroup and process. Okay, this is not segregation. Okay, I think we know what segregation is.
Well, I just don't see why we don't just, sprinkle them around so everyone is happy.
My child is not seasoning.
Happiness. Whose happiness are we concerned about here? Because my children are not here to make you happy, nor your child. They're here to give education.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please, can we raise our hands and remember our protocols, please? Now, thank you. Yes, I will not commodify our young people of color.
Yeah, 400 years of that was enough.
Okay. No one is asking you to commodify. Let's not make this more than what it is.
Who are you trying to manage? If you want a black experience, you can take your behind up to 125th like the rest of the tourists.
That is offensive.
Now, Catherine, I know that we talked about you feeling like it was a bit of a bait and switch. Maybe we could open that up to the community.
Yes, exactly. We came downtown because we wanted Sophie to experience real diversity. That is what we were promised. I mean, when we toured the school, we saw tons of children of color.
Well, diversity is not necessarily race. It could be somebody who I don't know wears glasses.
I do work. It could be someone with a sperm donor dad. It could be someone who doesn't own a country home. There's
Did
all
you
kinds
really
of
just
diversity.
say country home?
We struggled to buy our country homes.
No. Struggle and country home should not even belong together, not in the same sentence.
There's a reason
What
that
is
we
that?
cluster, okay? What about the promises that were made to us, okay?
Yes.
Listen, it's been a policy way before some of y'all got here.
Well, all of us are here now.
Here! Do you know what it's like to have your life suddenly change? For everything normal to go up in smoke? You don't. Life plays a trick and your normal goes up like a nuclear fucking bomb. Poof, gone. You get to walk around in your skin happy and safe and sound. Why don't you think anybody else deserves to feel that way? No fucking way. What? Twitter boy, he wants to meet you.
Couple of minutes, get a drink, mingle, meet someone that you don't know. We'll come back and have a really cool conversation. Let's come on and make our way back to our seats. Let's make our way back to our seats. Let's give it up one more time for Nichole. Incredible work. Thank y'all all for staying. Thank y'all all for staying. We're going to have a really cool conversation that we're about to have. Let me get quiet. There we go. We're going to have a really cool conversation. I'm going to get out of your way, but I just want to introduce our new guest on stage, who you have not seen yet, and then we'll let them take it over. So, let me stand over here so we can see. First up, we have Michaela Angela Davis, who is here with us. Michaela Angela Davis is a writer, creative director, producer, and image activist focusing on the intersections of gender, race, fashion, culture, beauty, and identity. She is the creator and executive producer of Hulu's The Hair Tales. Who's seen The Hair Tales? I know I've seen it. Yep. A dynamic 6-part docuseries celebrating Black women's identity, beauty, culture, and humanity, uniquely expressed through the stories in Hair, featuring Ayanna Pressley, Chica, Marsai Martin, Chloe Bailey, and Oprah Winfrey. Recently nominated for 2 NAACP Image Awards. Davis collaborated with Mariah Carey on The Meaning of Mariah Carey, a memoir of her identity, and instant #1 New York Times bestseller. She has spoken globally and has been a cultural contributor and writer for The Atlantic, Allure, CNN, MSNBC, and the BBC. Her most recent project is another collaboration with Mariah Carey, a children's book titled The Christmas Princess, which is available now everywhere books are sold. If you don't know, now you know. And next to her, the equally fierce Kimberly Drew. Kimberly Drew grew up in Orange, New Jersey, in a family of artists. She graduated from Smith College in 2012 with a BA in Art History, Africana Studies, and a concentration in Museum Studies. In 2011, Drew started the Tumblr blog Black Contemporary Art. She posted about Black artists so that they would be a part of recorded history. She is an advocate for racial equality in the art world. Drew ties art to activism, especially with high-profile cases such as George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. Drew's writing has appeared in Vogue, Glamour, W, Teen Vogue. She has done Instagram takeovers for Prada, the White House. Oh yeah, me too. The White House and Instagram. Drew worked at the social media as the social media manager at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City for many years. In 2020, her book, Black Futures, was published. This book, co-written by Jenna Wortham, brings together a collection of work to tell the story of the radical, imaginative, provocative, and gorgeous world that Black creators are bringing forth today. The book contains images, photos, essays, memes, dialogues, receipts, tweets, recipes, poetry, and more. And if you don't know, now you know Kimberly Drew. You know Sage, you know Nichole. Take it away.
Shall I?
Yeah, please. I feel. I can feel it coming.
I'm taking my auntie privilege right now.
Yes.
Y'all, we just did a thing together, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And it really, it was together. And shoot, this is hard to pop off because Nichole actually was my real estate agent that got me into my fierce loft in what I thought was Bed-Stuy, but y'all were calling Clinton Hill. But that's how we know each other. So it's really, I'm in this with you, sis. Like, I'm in this with you. Like, not just this show and our work. It's also, we were walking the park together, and I'm talking about this hair tails, and Like, I'm talking about my dreams of bringing work out. You're talking about yours. I'm watching your iterations. We're watching each other lose and win and get up again and lose and win and get up again. So that's what this is about, right? And I feel like this expression of this project at this point is just another iteration of that process and of your tenacity and the tenacity of Black women and Black people, and the power of story. And I just love you, sis. That's why I'm here. I don't feel like being anywhere these days. So this is and it's important work, and you're important to me, and you're important to this community. So there's that. But you know what would be interesting if I just, because the word gentrification, like there are a couple things. Just that word gentrification is packed, right? And everybody sees it different ways. And even where's the new director? Even when you said it's about like when people find out the secret, that's one definition, right? Like we know we're dope, we know, but that's a take. And I think we all might have like different takes and different takes on different days. What actually gentrification means, and when you said something about like a gentrification of a life, I know I took a little hit on that, right? When
I wrote it down as like gentrification isn't just a neighborhood, but it can be about a life.
A life. Yeah. So I would be interested in all of us kind of talking about or saying, or starting off by saying what gentrification means to us right now, and as I experience it is, we were in the green room and you said this is about loss. This show is about loss. And for me, and this is so, we don't have time to go through all the layers of loss and all the layers of gentrification, but that really hit for me, that this is about loss and how I experience gentrification in our neighborhood. It is not like people come to join a neighborhood, they come to take over. And it feels like colonization. And it feels like we come there and we create community and we create ritual, right? Like we go to the coffee shop, we go here, hi, Mr. Brooks, like and then we have a life and a community. And when you was like, when that shit's, can I cuss?
Yeah, ain't no babies in here.
Oh, she's been cussing all night. Okay, let's get. Oh, that's right. You were like, motherfucker, this, motherfucker, that. Right. No, yeah, you did that a lot. And I was with you on that. But that's what you feel like it's a takeover of your rituals and your communities. And for black folks in the United States, how we scramble and make community in oppression on plantations, and then it's taken, and then we make one over here in Detroit, then it's taken, then so that's gentrification for me and why it's painful. Because I miss you. I miss our coffee. I miss seeing black people in Fort Greene as a ritual. So gentrification for anybody today? No. What
I
do we
mean,
mean?
I have probably like a way less deep take, but for me, it's like seeing people who wouldn't come to my house, like in my neighborhood, living there. It's kind of weird. I mean, I had like a lot of friends who had never, like, not a lot, but I had a friend who had never taken the train when I was in school. So like things like, not because she was scared of the train or anything, the train was dirty and she was not taking the train. So for me, it's like a complete change in mindset that's happened for me in like 10 years of like, even when I went to public school briefly, I remember a girl called her dad and said, "Oh, I'm at Sage's house." And he was like, he didn't know she was on speaker. And he was like, "You know, it's a bad neighborhood. You got to get out of there." And she lived in fucking Bay Ridge. I was like, "Girl." So I was like, no diss to Bay Ridge. Bay Ridge is cool. Yeah, but just the attitude, and now wants to live in my neighborhood. You know, so it's the attitude around having the privilege of getting to move back to where I grew up and being able to afford to live near where I grew up is not something that I ever had to conceptualize as a kid or thought would be out of reach for me or something that was going to be hard for me. And now the thought of even keeping my apartment for more than 2 years is like, oh my God, rent's going to go crazy and COVID and all these things that threaten my childhood home and like the place that I'm used to. So for me, gentrification is cool because I get to see a lot more of my friends, and not cool because I don't know if I want to see them in my neighborhood, to be honest. And it's like, it's not a bad
Why
feeling.
is that? Because in the play, when you said you didn't feel safe anywhere anymore, does it speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, I can't go to the deli in my Harry Potter pajamas anymore. Like, that's not a thing.
Oh, talk about it.
Everybody's wearing like everything off of the Essence store, and everything's $300 and fresh Nikes and to the deli. So for me, that's a huge change. Like, those deli outfits were heinous in my day.
Yeah. Like the Chinese slippers.
Yeah, it was bad. It was something. It was a point of pride. It was like, what's the worst thing I could put on and go to the store? So it's definitely changed. I feel super cool living in my neighborhood now, and before I felt super broke living in my neighborhood. So I think it's like complete reversal. Again, like it's just a mind shift for me. Yeah.
Do you wanna? Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Kimberly.
I'm so excited to be here with you all. So I grew up in Orange, New Jersey, which is about 35-ish. I say 35, but it's more than that. It's very close to where we are physically right now. And I think in relationship to definitions of gentrification, the neighborhood that I grew up in, and we mentioned this on the pre-call, but the neighborhood I grew up in, my dad called me the other day and was like, they're starting to call it Webro, like west of Brooklyn. And I'm like, it's New Jersey. Like, it's New Jersey. We are not off the subway. Like, by that alone, it just doesn't make sense. And yeah, sit with that. I have been. And I think for me and for a couple of friends, like I feel like our generation is really seeing something so spectacularly fucked up of this kind of loss of home. Like for me, I feel very fortunate. I'm in the income bracket where I could go home, but for so many people that I grew up with, like it's just an impossibility. Like my neighborhood that I grew up in, like the library is gone. Like, but there's so many people who are moving in and paying $2,000 and $3,000 a month for rent, which is absurd because again, you are not in the city. Like it has its own cultural additives in Newark, New Jersey. Like shout out to her. But there is this kind of sense of returning home becoming an increasingly difficult thing. I feel like we have a lot of conversations about that in relationship to the Bay Area as well. There's just these kind of really culturally rich, radical spaces that are now like impossible to return to. And I also just like, this is so random, but I wore this hoodie specifically because one of my friends who grew up with me made it. And so I think too that it's also about like taking home with you everywhere you go. Because I don't want to just have this be a conversation about the loss, because I think that there is such a weight in the ways that we talk about home and it sits with us. And I think especially as Black folks, like our resistance is always multiplicitous, and they're both of those things have to coexist.
Yeah, I think the whole idea of like two things existing at once is like latent throughout my whole last statement of like it feels really cool, again, to live in Clinton Hill, but seeing it all happen feels really bad.
But I think that's the time that we have to have the courage to be in, and to live in competing truths out loud, because we always have, because that's what humanity is, right? At least two competing truths. But I think, and particularly, I'm grateful to your generation, because I think you all are articulating it and living it and saying it.
Well, I gotta say, as someone who is, I finally can say that I'm a part of the whole gentrification process. And two things can exist at the same time. Yeah. I can love being able to take care of my family, and I can hate when the person I sold the house to doesn't remember, oh, what's your name again? That sucks. I can love my old white neighbors. I call them OWPs. You know, the old white people, when they say to me, I can't stand these new white people. You know, because they weren't necessarily the ones that were coming in to take over. They came in because they liked it, they wanted to be there with us, and not to say that people need to earn your trust, they try to be a part of the community. So there were some folks like that, and those were the people that I was used to. And then also at the same time, as a real estate agent, you know, when Miss Bertha was like, listen, I want to move south. I got this brownstone. I spent all my money keeping this together, and I need you to get me all the money. And I go, okay, Miss Bertha, I'm gonna get you all the money, you know. And it's been really. I don't come from any, you know, money. You know, I come from the hood. You know, I grew up in Flatbush. I'm as Jamaican comes, like, you know, like burgundy hair and all of that. but I'm just saying, when I talk about gentrification of a life, also, though, that I am sometimes so far away from where I not grew up physically, but emotionally. And then because of that, there's a loss of sometimes parts of kinship with my children, because they're having I put them in such a place that sometimes the jump is extraordinary to understand them, to get to them. When she said she thought she lived in a broke neighborhood, we struggled like hell to buy that house, you know? And when she came home from college, she told me, you know, Mommy, I never knew we lived in a nice house. And I was like, yo. I mean, everything you do, but you put them in such a place that they can't even recognize. They don't even recognize what you did. So when I say gentrification of a life.
Nichole.
Yes.
I've been thinking about this for a minute. Well, first of all, I just came from Flatbush, and the building I was in had a spa, a doorman. Know where I'm staying? On like blocka. There is a spa and a doorman. So there's that. But
blocka.
Did you grapple with so this is a multi-generational conversation, which is dope, because I'm older than you. My child babysat her children. Was it? Yeah, both of you?
Yeah, both of them, yeah.
And she lives in Ditmas Park, and she's like, I'm Brooklyn for ride or die, But she can't afford where she grew up. But here's the question. Her father and I grappled with what school to send her to. Because my daughter is black from a distance. I know I'm fluorescent beige. But bitch, I'm black. But my daughter, her experience with the police is gonna be different than mine. And we were acutely aware of that. And she lives in New York. So she's already having this diverse, multicultural experience just by sheer living in the city. And we went back and forth. Why send her to these places? Why send her to a school that is sprinkling? like not to we're gonna get real right now because it really was a real I'm very pro public school. I come from DC, Chocolate City, and I was exquisitely educated in a black public school, and so but she went to public school here, but we still had to smuggle in black culture because the school inside the public school for the talented was all white kids. So it was still a public school, but her black father was the only black man some of those kids ever saw in a position of anything, prominence, power, opinion, da-da-da-da. But so did you all grapple with,
we grappled, we started a school. We started a school from scratch. We started a charter school because we wanted our kids to go to school within their neighborhood. So we decided to pour into the community first. And when we started pouring into the community, but then you watch your child, and your child is the only one, is the smartest one in the room, the only one that went to the museum, the only one. And when you tried to bring the other parents in, you had an issue of, oh, you think you better than me. Oh, you think you this and that. And then we started to, or you have the birthday party and they steal all the presents. But, I'm just saying. That did happen.
It's complicated, being
It is complicated. But with that said, my husband said to me, he was like, listen, are we doing this for us? Or are we doing it for them? Because the kids that we were looking at were going to be in an environment that needed them to be free. And as you see, I have a free being, and she has been that free being. And I couldn't find a public school that we could get into.
There's that part.
Neighborhood-wise. They weren't going to let me into the public school that was going to let her be free. But there was this very fancy school that was like, oh, your kid is amazing. She can do art here. She can run. She can wear a cape for 3 years, and we won't mind. And we'll give you some money so she can wear that cape as much as she wants. And, at that time, at that time, it looked beautiful. Yeah. It looked like somewhere where they were going to thrive. And I said, okay, is it about me and Ungawa? And it doesn't matter if they steal the presents, then I'll take all the kids to the museum if the other parents don't take it, or am I doing it for them? And so we decided to go for them. And it had its drawbacks. We had to be fully present, like we were present at the public school. We had to be fully present at the white school to not even smuggle in black culture. Hey, y'all singing Jump Round, Pick a Bale of Cotton. That's not the right song for them to sing. And so if you're going to be there, you're going to have to be present, and you have to be there and be unapologetically black. And that's what we had to do. That's where the decision came from.
Okay. Do y'all want to jump in with anything? Do y'all want to get the audience asking questions? What you want to do?
I'm just sitting here like, oh, I was a kid who was in charter school, and then
and then Smith.
Well, yeah, because for me, I grew up in Orange, New Jersey, as I shared, and I went to charter school in Cory Booker's Newark, which is a very particular type of childhood to have. But I feel very thankful because in my charter school, our homerooms were named after Kwanzaa principles. And so I had a very unique kind of education after I went through the Orange public school system. And so it was like our mascot was the Panthers. It was started after the Newark riots. And then I found myself in boarding school. And it was my first time since preschool where I was in a classroom with white children. I was the only black girl in my grade. And so a lot of the things that you're talking about, like I'd be curious for Sage to talk about too, like what it's like to be on the receiving end of those decisions. Yeah. Because as young people, we don't have the autonomy. Like you can't at 13 be like, oh, this is the school I'm going to go to, because we can say that, but like, of course our parents have to make the best decisions for us. But like, I'm still in therapy working through some of the decisions, like no bullshit, no bullshit. Yeah. Like the decisions that my parents had to make that you're discussing, where it's like, I have so much empathy just hearing it, because I know it's not easy to do. And as a child who's a recipient of what I can only acknowledge as care, there is also like a particular type of psychosis that is induced when you have to deal with young white children at their fucking worst.
Oh my God.
Like my high schools, the Bushes sent their kids there. Like Tucker Carlson graduated from my high school.
Jesus.
And my parents would not have known that because they didn't know boarding school. They didn't know New England boarding school. That's not like the pedigree through which we come into the world, you know? But there is, I think, there's a conversation worth having intergenerationally about like, yeah, it's like you were doing the best that you could do. Like, of course. But then also at the same time, we come out a little bumped and bruised.
Yeah, I think the interesting part about having the experience is that it was pretty singular. I mean, there was one in high school, they added like 3 new black girls to the class, but there was just me and Asha.
In New York City.
And yeah, and it was really hard because it felt like she was super traditionally feminine and gorgeous and really confident in this way that I didn't understand. And then also it's like the weird thing of like being at school and knowing that people aren't acknowledging that they see you differently, but they do. So it's this thing of like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're not black to me. You're my friend. And it's like, I want to be black and your friend, bro.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it was like trying to understand that this was going to be my home, so I couldn't make as much of a fuss as I would like to. Yeah, I did all right. I did all right. I definitely did all right. I feel like it was also because I was really lucky because I had a lot of friends.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was really lucky to have friends and have people like me. So it was a lot easier to be black if people like you, right? So I think I had one of those experiences that was pretty mixed. It was like sometimes my classmates really got on my nerves and I would have to sit there and be like, okay, I cannot freak out right now because like I'll be in a lot more trouble than if someone else freaks out right now. And when I did freak out, I think it was kind of met with a lot of like confusion, like you're really lucky to be here. Why are you screaming? Kind of. So I think that was the weird part for me. Like, oh, you're so lucky to be here, but I just wanted to smoke weed and hang out with my friends. And that wasn't like, that wasn't okay because I was black and I was gifted. You can't do that if you're black and you're gifted. So I think that was a really interesting thing for me, and it played on into my later life and just kind of doing what I wanted to do instead of doing what I didn't know was supposed to be there. Like there was no prototype because no one really looked. I mean, people were, mixed and Blasian, but nobody was doing the things that I wanted to do. Nobody was like skateboarding or doing any of the stuff that I found interesting. So it was hard to figure out what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be. But I think ultimately, obviously, I feel very blessed to have gone to such a fantastic school. And the reality is, when I talk to other people who are my age and who even are our peers in the art world and stuff, they don't have that same sense of connection. Like sometimes I'll see a random white person and be like, oh, hey. And they're like, why would you, who is this person? I'm like, oh, we went to school together. I knew their mom and we went to this farm. And like, it's this whole other thing. So I think I do, I'm serious. So it is like it's a different thing. And I think that to not acknowledge that privilege as a kind of leg up would be absolutely ridiculous. So I definitely think overall, I turn out fine-ish.
Yes.
Not to make this too silly, but when you were telling that story, it made me think like I went to a high school that had a bunch of different socioeconomic things, but mostly rich people and a lot of international students. And when I got to college, I was with it was the first time I was back with like other black kids who were of my socioeconomic standing, and they went to public school and got there. And I just remember like being there at freshman orientation and like Korean students saying "nega," which is like I am in Korean, and I'm like, y'all, it's fine. I was like, I went to high school with Korean people. I got this, Then it's like, we're good. Like, why do I know that? And it's because I went to this fancy ass school, and now I know all these random fucking facts. But one thing, because I know we're running out of time, but one thing that I wanted to put forward and then also ask a question about was last week I was fortunate enough to hear Theastergate speak in conversation with Thelma Golden. Theaster is an artist based out in Chicago who has many, many conversations about gentrification, and his show recently closed at the New Museum. One of the things that he said during the talk was building Black space is the ability to imagine that the space you live in and grew up in has value, which I think is also something that I don't want to get lost in this conversation, because gentrification is a class thing as much as it is a racialized thing. But I wonder, with that kind of in mind, when we think about how we, especially as Black folks, can invest in our own communities, like what does that look like? Is it too late? Have we lost the plot? Is it that we need to sit around and have more conversations like, what do we do?
That's a great segue to maybe getting some feedback from y'all. And note to white folks, don't say I don't see color. And what was the other? Oh, I'm colorblind. And what did your friend say? Oh, you're not Black. Yeah. Just don't ever say that. I don't see color. I'm colorblind, because it's a lie. And I don't see color. I'm colorblind. We're colorblind. Let's do colorblind. Or you're not Black to me. You're whatever.
Just a human.
Just forget those, because we're Black. And seeing Black is great, because we're amazing. Okay, so
questions,
I'm
comments,
sorry.
concerns.
She just flipped it. This is a dope moderator. So the moderator just gave the audience a question.
What do
right?
we do about it?
What do we do?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I
Can
mean,
we do that?
Yeah.
Is that interesting to y'all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or anybody got any ideas? Yeah.
There's some mics running, or. And can we go a little over time? Can we go a little over time? Great, thanks.
Oh. Like, I grew up in Queens in Jamaica. That's
well done. All your characters.
Jamaica, Laurelton. That's
Yes.
a Black neighborhood. It's a Black middle class neighborhood. It's still there. It's still there, and it's well taken care of. You know. I'm sorry. Shoot.
Who said that? Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
But I grew up in Laurelton, and we was middle class. We went to the movies, Laurelton. It was great, man. We go see Bruce Lee and play in the street and do block parties, and they still do that there. So it always interests me as we talk about Fort Greene. It's like there are other. I think Laurelton is probably one of the last, like, middle class, decent neighborhoods. I'm sorry, I don't want to mess people with Queens. I'll be. Yeah, and it's like, why aren't we there? Like, I'm not saying to move away, but
it's not close to the train.
I know it's not close to the train, but we can
And
create.
now we begin the Queen slander.
Close to the train. But we can create. There's some artists actually moving to Laurelton, but we can create our own community and have everything we want right there. We just keep. I mean, I'm not saying they're here, we got to move out because they came, but this is there. There's opportunities there. That always interests me as I'm fighting for my neighborhood here when the houses are like, $500 to $1 million for a home in Laurelton. Like, it always interests me why we're not building our own communities in New York City. It's near the Long Island Railroad, so yeah. Okay? All right. Couple blocks. 15 minutes from this, 20 minutes from Manhattan.
Anybody else?
Questions?
I'll add to that. I think that, to your question, Sage, this idea of valuing gentrification and this idea of valuing ourselves and our space and our kind of our authenticity. We spend so much time as Black people, and I grew up in Jamaica, the island. So all I saw was Black people living their best life. Maybe some of them not so best, but most of them, the doctor, the lawyer, the teacher, the prime minister, everybody was Black. So when I moved here at the age of 30, it was like a rude awakening that my pride was received as, I think I'm nice. And that's also something. So to go back to your question, we spend so much time as Black people trying to create individual spaces where we'll be seen, so we compete. We don't open spaces, we close them. As my mother-in-law always says, when she goes to church, if you don't open your hand, how can you receive? And so I think as Black people, if we just think a little bit more about opening up the space for us as Black people together, because the crab in the barrel thing is still real. I see my 13-year-old struggling at a private school right now in Brooklyn as one of the few black kids that's saying exactly what you guys are saying, and she's 13 today. So I think it starts with us. We have to just lead by example. And it sounds old, and everybody says that all the time. But we really and truly, it's not about who can be the shiniest black person. It's about that we shine brighter together. Yeah.
I just wanted to add to what you were saying about valuing the spaces where we exist, because like you, I'm Nigerian and Grenadian, so while I've lived in Brooklyn since college, I've always valued the places where I lived because it was all us. We owned it, we, shepherded it, et cetera, et cetera. I think if we're honest though about gentrification, it's about the resources that come into the community once the dollars change in the community. But the good news about it is, while their generation didn't have the resources to make real change because they were just getting by and just comfortable, our generation is slightly different, right? So our generation, our income level, our socioeconomic level has changed rapidly. So we can say, not only am I going to start the school, I'm also going to make sure that art programs are in the school. There are programs for my kids. We're not busing out our kids anymore. We're doing things. So I think that valuing our spaces means actually deciding to make the change internally in groups by ourselves.
Yeah. The T is, when Fort Greene was black, the median income was high. It was high. So I think that's a myth that black neighborhoods didn't have a certain income that would attract certain kinds of resources. It was because it was a black neighborhood.
Oh, I'm agreeing. I'm not. Yeah. I know the myth. What I'm saying is, with more money in the neighborhood, as the different colors come in, then there's more attention paid, right? And I'm saying, forget the attention, forget the colors. We have the money and we have the knowledge and the resource. Not just money, but we actually have the knowledge and the ability, because now we're not worried about making sure we buy the property to live for our grandkids. We have enough money. We've got the 401k. We've got stuff scrolled away. We can take the real chances now. That's what I'm hoping. I don't mean it like
the artists over here are like, what are you talking about?
I would like that.
The artists are twitching.
I'm talking about the 40-year-olds, right? I'm talking about 40-year-old now versus 40 and 80s.
A 40-year-old with a certain lifestyle. Like I said, the artists over here are doing different things.
No, but even then, I feel like the idea that even like my mom has a house and she owns it, and that's really different than how she grew up. So even that for me is a huge jump, because when I think about, okay, if I make $0 for the rest of my life, please God, don't let that happen. There would be a house that I could live in, and that's crazy different. Like, I think that's really different. Yeah, that's a big, that's like a brownstone, so it's like a whole other thing.
But there's one other thing about that. See how your mom has the house, and you said if you never make another dollar, that you'll have a house to inherit. Yes. But what I see happening, right, is that folks are selling grandma's house.
Yeah, that's
right.
So
we're partially to blame for that. Christina was touching on that. We need to value our community. We should have resources to tell people, hey, grandma's house is really valuable. Yeah. You don't want to just blow all your money and buy a BMW and move to Atlanta. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
but Atlanta's black. I would.
Not too much. Not too much.
Listen.
I'm sorry.
Watch it.
Wait, did they cut my mic? I think.
Just stay at the BMW. Don't.
That's it. I'm sorry. I went wrong with Atlanta, but you see my point.
Atlanta's a good place.
So if we encourage them, hey, you need to keep grandma's house, or figure out how to keep grandma's house, instead of selling grandma's house when they come by and offer $350,000 for the house, and this is as much cash as you've ever seen, but not realizing your house is worth $2.1 million.
I mean, as a realtor, and I'm going to say this across the board, with that, gentrification is so multi-layered.
Yeah.
It's no one's fault per se, as in It's no one's fault that they want to live close to the train. Okay, that's the end. You're in a city, you want to live close to the train. Look, white people will be somewhere where black people are afraid to be. White people will be in the black neighborhood walking at 3 o'clock in the morning, la 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 la. And that's not their fault, as in the fault is the fact that they walk around with that. That's what this country is. There's a certain amount of, I feel safe. And you can get pissed off about it, because you be like, why is she running in them little shorts and it's 5 o'clock in the goddamn morning?
On Classen.
On Classen Avenue,
Classen.
and now she's gonna get robbed, and they're gonna say all the black people are bad. She's running at 5 o'clock in the morning in the tight shorts.
Oh, God.
But what I really want to say is that, see, she said, oh God, but it's so multi-layered. There's no part of it that is a simple. It's more than two truths existing at once. It's 10 truths existing at once. You don't want certain people to move in. And I'm not saying white people, I'm saying certain people, because there's some black people that I don't want to move in either. But we as artists move in, and I remember the lady was like, somebody said, Carl Hancock Ruck said, I write. And I remember this lady said, you write and you live in your house? It's like, somebody pay you to write? And the idea to her is basically that you were a gentrifier. Just by the fact that you could afford to do something like write and live. Yeah. So I had to get used to that idea too when I tried to gather my people. And then sometimes it hurt. It really hurt when you try to, okay, let me tell you why you shouldn't sell the house. If you refinance and do so and so and such and such. But again, if someone has never had that kind of resource, and everybody's like, well, you mean they 5 of us and 5 of us can get $100,000? They're moving south. And I'm not saying that it's the right thing to do, but if you try to educate and you say, hey, you have options. This one lady said, this is the largest, what did you say? The largest transfer of wealth that I can give my grandkids ever. She said, I worked hard and bought this house, and I can get $1 million. That means I could give each of them something. What do I say to that? And apart from them locking me up, if I say, she only wants to sell to black people, that's not going to happen, right?
So I think the answer to Drew's original question, this is making it very clear, and I'm trying to do a little wrap up, is that what to do is to get this piece in front of more people and have way more community conversations, because it is so layered. It might even be like having to talk about it in sections, because it's like a big old nappy head of hair. Like, we just in the back, we just in the kitchen a little bit tonight, undoing it, because it is layered. It is, and I don't know if any of y'all read Charles Blow, The Devil You Know. He made a very salient argument to go down south. There has been the largest migration of black people back since the first. I don't call it great migration, because for my people it wasn't great. They were refugees. I come from refugees of Jim Crow, South Carolina. They fled terrorist territory to come up to more terrorism up north. So when somebody says I can get $250,000 and have a farm in Alabama, and I can sustain, and I can be with black people, and I can look at trees, because I'm in Sumter, South Carolina, writing, living my life with my ancestors in the dirt under my feet, eating smothered pork chops that will, and being loved so I can be an artist and not be freaked out. So there are a lot of nuances, and why people also, like, why do I want to live here where I can get choked out?
At 5 a.m.
So I know this is a New York story, but like this is an American story. And we are moving and we are migrating and we're finding, like in Black church, it's still a place. And there's a little Black church on every corner in North Carolina, in South Carolina, in Georgia. Where we from? We're not West Indian, like American Black people, like we came up through the South. We smuggled rice and okra in our hair. And it's down there in that dirt. So there's so there's a farm. How you going, so Best Eye is cool. Yeah. But what if I want to grow like 100 rows of collard greens? That's a heart, and eat them. Sally said, and eat them. So that's the argument that somebody may say, okay, $1 million, I'm gonna give me some dirt. So I don't, it's complicated being Black in America.
Yeah.
And need and spirit and where you at right now. So anybody that knows how to get this conversation in front of more people, do it. I don't know who they supposed to talk to.
I don't know.
How do people continue to follow the
who's got
project?
the answer to that? Like what we just experienced can happen other places often, right? So how does that happen? Who can speak to that? Are y'all all gonna roll up on LaFontaine?
We got lots of plans, but I don't even know if I belong in this project.
So is there like
it's about
website?
accountability, right?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, we are all now witnesses. We are all now holding the archive of this together. And so regardless of your background, what you look like, who your mama is, who your daddy was, all these things, you are responsible. You are implicated.
Well, okay.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank
Are
you.
we wrapping it up?
Yeah, that's a wrap, right?
Thanks, everybody, for coming. We could stand here and talk to each other because there's going to be drinks and all that kind of stuff, and I'm here to have the conversation with who'd ever like to have more of this conversation. But thank you guys for coming and being willing to have the conversation.